Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post. Coming from National Review, Idaho State Board of Education bans DEI across public universities. And from Higher Ed Dive, Idaho Education Board bans DEI across state's four-year colleges. Some of the affected colleges had already moved to wind down their diversity, equity, and inclusion centers ahead of the unanimous vote. Unanimous! That's it! Get out of our state colleges! And coming from the local CBS affiliate, quote, the sadness is starting to hit. University of Idaho students concerned after Idaho Board of Education votes to ban DEI offices because some of what the students were getting were cash scholarships based on their skin color. Not even just like you did very well and we want to give you a free tuition situation. This is like just cash handouts because of your skin color. And that is not right. And from Axios, colleges dismantle DEI. Even some colleges that don't get the statewide ban know the writing is on the wall and it's time to roll all of this stuff back. From Higher Ed Dive, Idaho Education Board bans DEI across state's four-year colleges. The resolution's stated goal is to ensure, quote, all students may succeed regardless of personal identity characteristics. But critics of the move have raised concerns over the effects it will have on students from backgrounds underrepresented in higher education. And I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Regardless of your skin color, if you can't get into the school based on merit, or if you can't get the job based on merit, then you are not underrepresented. If you can't achieve there, whether it's the college or it's the job market, then you should not be there. The Idaho board adjusted the proposal's language this week amid pushback from faculty and students. Among other changes, the resolution now defines DEI ideology, includes a line acknowledging, quote, the unique diversity of Idahoans, and sets the expectation that colleges continue, quote, to foster a campus culture that appreciates and reflects this diversity. Board members also set the effective date as mid-next year. TJ Bliss, which is a fantastic name, the Idaho State Board of Education's chief academic officer, said the June 30th deadline is intended to give colleges adequate time to make the changes. Quote, some have begun already. Some have a lot more to do, he said. They call him Mr. Bliss. Last week, Boise State announced the abrupt closure of its gender equity and student equity centers. In their place, the institution will open the Student Connections and Support Center per an email obtained by the Idaho Statesman. I did see this story, but I was going for something bigger, and we got it with this main story of wiping out DEI. From the Idaho Statesman, ahead of Idaho Board's vote on DEI resolution, Boise State shutters its equity centers. Idaho State announced last month it would restructure its Office of Equity and Inclusion and rename it the Office of Equal Opportunity. The university is also dissolving its Diversity Resource Center and Gender Resource Center and integrating the resources they offered into broader student support services, which means everyone gets to access them. And that sounds great to me. Idaho State acted ahead of the board's vote so it could make decisions it could control, according to President Robert Wagner. Well, we have not done away with programs, he said. What we're doing is reorganizing where those programs originate from and who is administering those programs. The state's public flagship, the University of Idaho, appears to have braced for change as well. The institution recently informed faculty that 4 of its student centers, the Black and African American Cultural Center, the Women's Center, the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and the LGBT Center, would all close, according to Sidney Freeman Jr., an education professor at the university. Freeman, who helped lead the Black African American Cultural Center, said the decision was, quote, based on the instruction of the Idaho State Board of Education and due to pressure of members of the Idaho State Legislature. Well, the members of the Idaho State Legislature represent the people who are actual citizens and taxpayers of Idaho. So you've got to kind of listen to those people because you can't expect taxpayers to pay for resources that are dedicated exclusively to people based on their skin color or sexual preference or race or religion. What are you doing? This is America. We don't do stuff like that. Quote, our Black students and others did all they could to resist this outcome, But the decision was already made, he said in a social media post on Monday. University of Idaho President C. Scott Green told the board prior to the vote that students value the kinds of affinity centers and groups that will no longer be possible under the policy change. Quote, these students often have a lot of the same issues, and they can help each other through them. That's why these programs are there, he said. He added the university has seen more students make it to graduation because of support from specialty groups. And that's all terrific, but you have to offer the resources equally, because there might be an Asian student or a white student or a student of unknown race that has an issue that the college could help with, and they should all be treated equally. President Green affirmed the flagship university would comply with board policy and state law in both letter and spirit, but he also expressed discontent with the pending change. Quote, we all recognize the broader national state political dynamics that our Board of Regents is addressing, he said. Quote, we are disappointed but not surprised that it's come to this given what's happened in other states. Still, they pretend that these aren't the actual citizens who vote representatives in who say, please spend our money wisely, and also don't break any laws when you spend our money. Would you just please treat all these kids? I mean, they're young. They go into college, like could be 18 years old. Why not treat them all equally? Why not say, no, you're not entitled to certain resources because of your skin color, but you're entitled to certain resources because you have this other better skin color that we like today better. Maybe they wouldn't like it as much in 5 years, but maybe 10 years ago, it was a better skin color. Just treat everyone equally. And these university presidents need to stop pretending that this isn't taxpayer money. This isn't the money of actual citizens that work hard, aren't for the most part wealthy, and just want to see people treated fairly so they can all participate equally in society. And they want their kids to be able to participate equally in society. This is not like an abstract concept. It's very black and white. The children of the taxpayers, no matter what their skin colors are or their sexual preferences are, should have equal opportunity in state colleges and universities. This is not a difficult concept. Since 2023, 12 states have signed anti-DEI legislation into law, according to the Chronicle of Higher Education. The shift comes amid a conservative-led effort to roll back diversity efforts in education. There is no rolling back of diversity efforts. There is a rolling back of discrimination in education. Boise State President Marlene Tromp expressed concern that students and community members would feel devalued in the face of program discontinuations, because you're not being honest with the students and saying, you know what, we made a terrible mistake. We may have had good intentions, but we never should have treated you guys differently based on your skin color or your sexual preferences. Everyone should have the same equal opportunity to succeed and not be excluded because of their race. But instead, she said this, quote, it grieves me deeply that for many years, our work to support and serve our students so they can be academically successful has been profoundly misunderstood and misconstrued. I don't say this too often, but how dare she? The Idaho Education Board issued guidance added to the new policy to make clear the state's public four-year colleges can offer support services for certain groups, such as veterans and first-generation students. The allowable exceptions also include members of federally recognized American Indian tribes, of which there are 7 in the state. Permitted practices include maintaining a designated American Indian Student Center and offering scholarships for American Indian students. Before the vote, Samuel Penny, a member of the Nez Perce Tribal Executive Committee and educational liaison for the tribe, expressed concern to the board about the potential loss of DEI programming. Quote, the transition to campus life can be extremely difficult, he said, noting that students from reservations often come from close-knit communities but graduate from underperforming public schools. Quote, having helpful college staff assist them with a transition can be life-changing. Board members assured the Nez Perce tribe that the proposed DEI ban would not impinge services affecting its students, according to Penny. But he dismissed the idea that diversity programming creates division among students, a common refrain among its opponents. It's not that it does cause division among students. That's not the only issue, though. How can you have taxpayers that are paying for all these state-run universities and colleges and tell them your children won't get access to all the available services? You can't do that, and ultimately that's why this can't continue. It's completely ridiculous. Quote, the programs under review are effective tools in not only attracting people to pursue a degree in Idaho, but also retaining those students and seeing them through to graduation, he said. Lewis Clark state officials do not anticipate needing to make changes based on the resolution, according to President Cynthia Pemberton, who told this to the board, as its specialized student support services are for veterans and Native American students, two exempt groups. Some colleges have rolled back DEI programming ahead of potential bans, which often give them little time to make changes. In Idaho, Republicans hold the governor's office and a veto-proof supermajority in the legislature, and colleges are likely to face further challenges to DEI. Lawmakers recently created a task force to investigate DEI and social justice ideology at Idaho colleges. In 2021, the legislature passed a law banning the state's public colleges and K-12 schools from compelling students to personally affirm, adopt, or adhere to certain concepts related to sex, race, ethnicity, religion, color, or national origin. Because bills like these contain ambiguous language that could be misinterpreted or misapplied, Free Speech Group PEN America labeled this legislation an educational gag order, which you would hope you would not need an educational gag order in the United States. Why would you need something like this? Because these professors and these schools are out of control with their ideology that they are pushing like a cult and a religion on these students. K through 12, that's kindergarten. You're attacking kindergarten students with this? They are. That's why you need laws to prevent it. During the same year, lawmakers cut $2.5 million in state funding for social justice programming from the 3 public universities. In 2023, the State Education Board banned Idaho's 4-year public colleges from using diversity statements, which outline job candidates' experiences with and commitment to diverse student populations in all of their hiring processes. The legislature similarly banned all public colleges from using such statements in hiring and admissions the following spring. Because you can't ask people to support ideology in hiring decisions. People need to be treated based on their ability and how you think they're going to do on the job. And that's also how you're going to evaluate them. You're not going to say if they're not successful on their job for some reason that, oh, I'm sorry, we can't let this person go because of this skin color. It's ridiculous. And some students are getting a little bit concerned. Quote, the sadness is starting to hit. University of Idaho students concerned after Idaho Board of Education votes to ban DEI offices. Some University of Idaho students are worried about what their campus is going to look like coming back from holiday break. The Idaho Board of Education passed a resolution banning all diversity, equity, and inclusion offices across universities in the state. Quote, the emotions, the frustration, the sadness is starting to hit, according to Alia Schmidt, a diversity scholar and student at the University of Idaho. As a diversity scholar recipient, Schmidt and other students receive a financial scholarship that goes towards their tuition. Quote, I do kind of rely on as many scholarships that I can get, Schmidt said. This is money I've been relying on since I joined the program. Schmidt worries that the funding won't be available anymore. Quote, I need this support, Schmidt said. Well, if you're entitled to it, you ought to get it, but certainly not based on your skin color. In eliminating DEI, the board's resolution said the decision is intended to ensure institutions don't use personal characteristics in decisions for campus jobs, education opportunities, or initiatives. The DEI offices on university campuses will start closing in the spring semester. But we hope that our students know that we're here for them and that our resources are available, according to Jody Walker, Executive Director of Communications for the University of Idaho. Walker said despite the closure of DEI offices, students can still form clubs and gather on their own. However, Schmidt said after speaking with other diversity scholars, the resolution affects their education. Quote, financially, we'll be okay for the next semester, but come the fall of 2025, that scholarship won't be a thing anymore. So there are students that are talking about not coming back next year, according to Schmidt. Walker said the official number of returning students remains to be seen. Quote, it's going to take some time to get all the support in the right places, Walker said. Quote, but we are definitely there for our students, and we will work through all that together. The resolution in Idaho requires all DEI-related campus offices to close no later than June 30th, 2025. Idaho, I like what you're doing. Keep it fair. Give everyone the same opportunity. Don't judge people based on their skin color or their sexual preferences. Let everyone get the same chance to succeed. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another story. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.